right? The comps, gotta know your numbers. And also because when the bank did their appraisal and a BPO, because some banks do both. BPO is a broker by price opinion, which is when an agent comes out and gives a value that they feel on the property. This bank, which was Aquin, did a BPO and an appraisal, and we have a copy of the appraisal, and the appraisal was 180. Okay.
So one characteristic is being upside down.
Being upside down, that's the first characteristic. Okay. Now, one of the things I want to talk about in terms, just real quick about being upside down. A lot of times people think that when houses are going to foreclosure, that it has to be upside down. You still, I mean, when looking for properties out here, and you see properties that are going to foreclosure now, if it's not upside down, but the people it's going to foreclosure, you still want to be able to put offers in on those properties. So this goes back to knowing the numbers and evaluating. Okay, I know I'm talking fast, but anyway, all right. Property was worth as is 170 to 190. Okay, actually Sandra and Bob's initial offer, because we always go in lower, even though, you know, we know what the as-is value. Your initial offer, I think, was like 130. Their initial offer was 130. We always want to leave room to negotiate.
That's key, guys. In any part, whether it's a short sale or any deal, have a bottom to work your way up. Don't start off up, because in most situations, seller or anyone who's selling a property, that's their up number, that's their high number. So you're able to talk them down if you know what their bottom number is. The same with you in reverse. Start your number lower than what you're willing to go as high as. Your number was 130?
Initially, I think.
And you want to go as high as what?
Probably around the 155, 160.
So you started off at 130. If you get the number at 130, icing on the cake. If not, you got a high that you want to go up to. So keep that in mind when you negotiate, whether it's short sale or any kind of deal.
Now, let me say this. If they would have put in an offer around 150, 160, and the bank immediately accepted it, I would have been extremely upset. Literally, I would have been out of my mind. Okay. Even though that's what they wanted, now I'm like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do now? We got to bring it down.
Yeah.
That's just me. I mean, I want the best price, okay? So, again, 180 was the bank appraisal. Notice they got it at 155. Another thing, whoever is negotiating your short sales, bank have formulas they use. So you gotta know what those banks' formulas are. If you don't, the bank will come back at you, I want 180, okay? But we know the bank formulas, so we know what the bank can go down to in terms of that appraisal, okay? All right, next thing on this, it's very, very important. Title company, your team, your agents gotta know what they're doing, okay? And some of the banks want the property listed, okay? If it is an FHA loan sitting on that house, that house has to be listed, I think it's for 21 days, okay? Which means that somebody could come in and bump their offer out. Okay, you have to know an agent who knows how to deal with those situations, because they were, to use agent terms, they're procuring cars okay, and so you want to make sure they get that property. All right, next thing that's important, you gotta have a title company. Okay, in this one we did a split closing.
Yeah, it was a little dicey.
Little dicey with the title company, okay? So we did when you're purchasing a property, especially when you're getting financing, even though we did the short sale with another title company, the lender came in and said they wanted to use their title company, okay? Be honest, it was dicey, okay? But again, you gotta have a staff that knows how to deal with that. We did a split closing, meaning that we did the title company that handled the original short sale, handled the seller side. The lender's title company handled the buyer's side. And that can be a little challenging, but hey, you gotta be up, well, I'm looking at Bob and South's face. You gotta be up for the challenge, because, I mean, what you're gonna make off of it is worth it, okay? So, in terms of this, like I said, being, the homeowner wanted out, okay? You want a homeowner that's really motivated.
There you go.
Homeowners gotta be motivated. You don't wanna go into a short sale trying to talk a homeowner into doing it, because if you do, most of the time, it doesn't work, okay? Homeowner has to be willing to present a lot of documents to the bank. A lot of documents. And so if you talk that homeowner into doing this short sale and they really don't wanna do
You
it,
lose them.
you're gonna lose them, they're not gonna be cooperative, and here's how you're gonna lose them. Because they're not gonna be willing to present all those documents, okay? They have to be really committed to doing this. So in this case, you had a motivated homeowner who really just wanted out. The numbers were good, they were definitely upside down, okay? And
Almost a year behind on the mortgage payment.
they were more than a year behind.
Right, so all those characteristics equal,
A good short sale, okay? And a lot of times, you may not know all of that initially, because many times what the homeowner tells you isn't necessarily accurate. You gotta remember, many of them are distressed,
They
okay?
mentally checked out, and it's their version of the truth.
Truth, okay?
Yep.
What the first thing we're gonna do before we even commit to doing the short sale with you, we're gonna call the bank and get the real story and the real numbers, okay? We won't even say, we're gonna take this short sale and work it for you until we get the real numbers from the bank, because we have to make sure that this is something we can do, and also that the bank is willing to do the short sale. And in most cases, they are willing to consider a short sale. But like I said, this to me was a classic short sale.
any questions regarding this? Yes.
Yeah, so are we saying that a foreclosure, because we're saying they were a year behind, so they were in foreclosure?
Yes.
Right, so we're converting a foreclosure to a short sale.
Well, okay, which they were in a, anytime you're 90 days behind, okay, many banks are gonna, submit you to the foreclosure department, okay? Once you're 90 days behind, the homeowner has to do something to, remedy those late payments. If you're 90 days behind, you can't just say, I'm gonna send in one payment. If you send in one payment, they're gonna send it back to you, okay? You gotta be on some type of repayment plan, try to do some type of loan modification or something. So technically, 90 days behind, you are in foreclosure, or pre-foreclosure.
The key here is in foreclosure, not foreclosed. That's the key, in foreclosure.
So so then in other words, what you're saying, you actually pick it up at that point of the 90 days, of the short sale?
Well, we pick it up whenever they call us. I mean,
You mean, oh, okay.
okay,
That's-
so most of, to be honest, 90 days, we don't get a lot of calls in 90 days, because homeowners are trying, if they wanna keep the house,
Still do what they need to.
they're trying to do repayment plans, refinance, loan modifications, okay? Many times when homeowners are calling us, they're gonna be anywhere from a year to 5 years behind.
So, yes,
Yeah.
people are 3, 4, 5 years behind on their mortgage, and they still own the property and has not been foreclosed on yet. So it's in foreclosure, or in the process of foreclosure.
Meaning it hasn't gone to the auction,
Right.
okay?
Another question, any more questions? Yes.
Suppose you cut the bank out and made up their back payment and bought it for them.
Well,
Did you gain that much?
well, the key to that is, if you're talking about this deal, it didn't make sense because they're upside down. So this deal, that didn't make sense. But owner-structured financing, that could be a situation where there's a large equity position in the deal by making up the payments. But it didn't make sense for this one.
No, you said it.
Any other questions? Yes.
Yes, Charles. Sometimes on the auction, you see the date of the auction.
Mhm.
For the Can you be able to reach the homeowner before that date and buy that property?
Yes.
Through you?
The answer to the question is, sometimes before the auction, you see a date. Are you able to reach that owner and speak to that owner? The answer to that is yes, but it also depends.
Yeah.
Depends on if the owner still lives in the property, or if the property is an investment property, or there's someone else living in the property. As an investor, if they're in foreclosure over 60 days, you're not supposed to be reaching that person that's in foreclosure. You're supposed to be reaching that person by way of an agent, if they're in there, but if they're living in the property. Now, if the property is absent, the owner, like this one was, you can go after it any time to the point. But yes, it depends on that situation based on your question.
And what Charles is talking about, in Maryland, we have the PIFA law.
Protection of Homeowner and Foreclosure Act.
Okay, so you have to know, that goes to marketing, okay? How you can market to homeowners. So that's,
And the 100-foot view of that is properties that are over 60 days late in their mortgage payment and the person lives in the property, you have to have an agent or it's going to be an attorney?
you can, or agent or attorney,
Yes.
most likely is the agent.
Right, you have to have an agent as a go-between when the person is over 60 days late on their mortgage. Properties that are not over 60 days late in their mortgage, you can go after that property prior to the 60 days notice. The actual exception to that rule is properties that are vacant or properties that are investment properties, where the owner doesn't live in the property. The other exception to that rule is properties that are in tax sale. If a property is in tax sale going through foreclosure, you don't have to worry about the foreclosure law. We're talking about bank mortgaged properties.
Somebody's,
I forgot, now, did you say, in order for you guys to get the property, they were already so far behind, what was their incentive to sell it to you? Did you give them some money or something like that?
okay, as I said,
I missed
okay. Everybody's situation is going to be different. A lot of times, homeowners don't want a foreclosure on their credit. Okay, it's better to have the short sale than a full-blown foreclosure on their credit. Okay, so that foreclosure, I think, lasts like, what, 7 years? 7 years on their credit versus doing a short sale. Let's say if they want to buy another house, in a couple of years, they can buy another house.
So that was the incentive.
Well, that is one incentive. Another incentive, they may be able to get some money out of it. The bank may allow them to get money, and if that's, but again, that money has to be approved by the bank. Okay?
Barbara, Sandra, talk about as far as moving forward with opportunities and deals. What are you guys working on right now and stuff?
Well, like Valerie had mentioned, we actually have 3 other short sales in the pipeline right now, and we always continue with with our wholesaling. We also do tenant placement, so if we have any landlords in here, you want to outsource some of your tenant needs. we do that as well. But like I said, the takeaway here is substantial discount with the property using the short sale. Yeah.
You can't say
Using
no.
the short sale process, right? That's what we're here for, right? For deeply discounted properties, right?
And actually,
That's what it's all about.
actually, the short sale is probably one of the few strategies that you can get a substantial discount on. I mean, you can do some negotiating of properties when they go to auction and so on and get a discount. But on a regular basis, I don't know of any other strategy out there where you can get a substantial discount from the bank as part of that major strategy of choice. I think we had a question over here.
Right. It sounded like you was using some kind of funding, right? Because we talked about the draw. The other deals are funded too? The other short sales that you're working on, are those gonna be a funded deal as well, or?
No, yet.
We're not there. We're not there yet. I mean, it's always better to use private money, but that's just a way to to get cash. I mean,
Right.
we're not exactly sure how we're going to fund those deals yet.
Okay.
I mean, they will be funded. I mean,
Right.
preferably, I mean, it's always better. Like I said, it's always better to use private money.
Okay. Can I say something about short sale? Okay, for those of you who are wholesalers, okay, and even on this deal, how much money did y'all put down on this deal? I'm talking about for your contract and all of that, when you submitted the contract.
Oh, nothing.
Okay,
Zero out of pocket.
All right, this is a no money down deal. Most of our short sales are zero money down. Now, I'm gonna clarify that, okay? All right. Again, it depends on who the agent you're working with. If you're getting them off the MLS, I'm gonna give you a little tip. For those of you who are getting short sales off the MLS, and you want it to be, don't wanna put money down right away, okay? Then, there's what's called the short sale addendum. So what you wanna do is make sure, have that if the agent is insistent that you put a deposit down, you wanted to put the deposit down after third-party approval, okay? So meaning if you don't get third-party approval, then you didn't put any money down, okay? Now, our short sales in general, we don't put zero down. I know I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna say it, because I know the agents in here, there is no law that says you have to put earnest money deposit down. You do have to put proof of funds, but not earnest money deposit down. My daughter is a broker, and she keeps our office very legal. She will tell me in a minute, Mommy, you can't do that, okay? And she does. Because you know, I'm creative.
Yeah, I know.
I'm creative, and she will, Mommy, you can't do that, okay? So, I'm saying that, again, there is no law. So I love short sales, especially for new investors, because it's very little risk. There's so many ways to get out of that contract. When that short sale approval letter comes, if there's one thing in that short sale approval letter that you don't agree with, I'm out, okay? If you don't, just don't sign it, I'm out, okay? So it's very low risk for new investors. It's great for those who don't have earnest money deposits, because it's really not required. The bank is not requiring earnest money deposits. I have not had one property where the bank has said, you know, we're not accepting this because there's no earnest money deposit. They do want proof of funds, a proof of funds letter, but not earnest money deposits. So all of our deals that we do using our team are zero money down.
And one of the key things they talked about earlier was exit strategies. Short sale is an exit strategy. It's a strategy that you look at the deal and say, here's a way in which this deal could go. Here's a way in which this deal could wind up. It could be a short sale, it could be a wholesale, it could be a rehab, it could be a guaranteed rent, it could be a tenant placement. So you have to have a well-versed in all the different exit strategies for you to really monetize your business. We call it being a transaction engineer. That's what you want to do. Because once you are able to take any deal and figure out a way to monetize it, then you're not a one-trick pony. You're not that guy that's only doing wholesale, only doing rehab. Nothing wrong if you want to be a specialist in something. But I teach my students that you want to master something, but you want to add multiple tools to that something so that you can make money when wholesaling isn't popular in this area. You can do structured financing, short sales. You could do guaranteed rent. You could do subject to. So you want to have a well-versed education level, especially when it comes to exit strategies.
Yeah, and I think when I talk about zero out of pocket, I mean, I'm talking about as far as what Val was talking about, an earnest money deposit to put your offer in. There is actually, but depending on who you use it to. I mean, private money is always the best, but if you're going to use a hard money lender, you have to play closing costs on the property, and they usually loan you 80% of the purchase price. So you have to come up with that other 20%, and plus you have to pay closing costs as well. So it's not, when I just didn't want anybody to misunderstand when I said zero out of pocket. Zero out of pocket on this end, but when you go to closing, you have to have some funds.
And there's also one more fund you have to worry about. You also have to worry about the actual draws.
Right.
And here's something that I want you guys to totally understand. If you got a lender, a hard money lender that has 4 draws, and the draws are 15, 25, 15, and 15.
Right.
The money you should have available in your pocket should cover the highest draw amount. So if the first draw is 15 and the second draw is 25, you want to make sure you have 25,000 available, so when that second draw comes, you don't have to look for the other 10, because all you prepared for was the first draw amount. So whatever's the highest draw amount, that's the amount you should have part of your savings, because the lender is going to require you to cover your draw step, your first draw. But don't get confused and say the first draw is only 15, so that's all I gotta have. No, you gotta have whatever the highest draw number is, because you're gonna have a draw that's 25. So when you put that 15,000 to pay that contractor, and that second draw is due, you got reimbursed from the lender for 15,000. Where's the other 10 coming from for the second draw? So you gotta have that, at least whatever the highest draw amount is, as part of your savings to cover your costs.
Right, because that first draw is coming out of your pocket. You don't get the money until you pay the first. I mean, you're recycling the same money, but the first draw is coming out of your pocket. Then the lender reimburses you, so.
Be aware of that.
Be aware.
Now, I'm looking at the looks on people's faces, like, oh, I gotta have 25,000, or I gotta have so-and-so in the bank. Okay, work up to that.
Right.
Wholesale some of these short sales. Okay, how much did I say that they would have made on this if they wholesaled this property? Okay, 15 to 30,000, most likely it would have been 30, okay? Because in this area, I'm telling you, in PG County, people are fighting over property, so they would have had multiple offers, so they would have gotten at least 30, 35 in a wholesale deal with no money down, because there would have been, they're not rehabbing it, right? Okay, so it would have been no money down, because they didn't have to put anything up on the contract, and they would have wholesaled it. Then move to your, for those of you who don't have that money in the bank now, then move to your rehabbing. Bob and Sandra I've known for a while. They didn't start out rehabbing. They start out wholesaling. So don't think you can't do this. You still can do short sales.
Exactly. And as a matter of fact, Bob and Sandra is wholesaling in Philadelphia and Maryland. So they're in two different markets. Kim, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say something, guys. So you said 20 to 25,000 to start out the deal, right? As I told you guys, I do wholesale and I do rehabbing. I don't even use the 20 to 25,000. You can get what's called gap funds. You know, other investors say, for example, I offer my investors 12% on their money.
Yep.
So if you need 20,000, you say, hey, listen, and then you have a reputation like I do now, they know you get the job done, you can get that funding. So don't allow that to scare you either, the 20 to 25. There is other ways, as you said, transactional engineer. That's exactly what I do in my business. I have built my business from scratch using none of my money.
And that's a key point, because this business is all about, and what makes this business so fantastic is the fact that we don't get paid by hour, we get paid by thought. Thought. That's the key. If you get that knowledge and that education, each and every month, you can write your own paycheck. You get paid by thought. So keep that in mind. It's all about learning, it's all about that education, it's all, but most importantly, it's all about applying, application of the information. I don't know how many people I talk to every week who say, I'm about to get started. I've been studying for 6 months. I've been studying for 12 months. I went to 10 different courses, and I'm about to get started. What else should I do?
You will be.
You hear it.
You will be scared.
Yeah.
I mean, as a coach, I know she hear it. So so it's the key is action plus offers equal profit. Action plus offers equal profit. If you're not doing enough action each day to put offers out there, you need to change your action, because that's the formula. Action plus offers equal profit. The more offers you put out there, the more profit you can make. It's that simple. It ain't rocket science. It's all about action, doing action, having a plan that allows you to create action, that allows you to make offers, that allow you to make profits. Every week, 20 offers, 50 offers, 60 offers, 5 offers a day. If I'm not doing 5 offers a day, I don't go to sleep. That's the mentality you gotta have. Any other questions? Let's talk about marketing. What are some of the marketing strategies you guys? You guys done some deals. What are the marketing strategies you've done and so forth that have been successful?
In addition to Property Scouts, we do expired listings. We do pre-foreclosures. We also do, of course, absentee owners, vacant sellers. So all of those have been really helpful in, having us find deals. And right now, we're actually getting a large number of deals from sellers that we helped in the past, word of mouth, referrals. So those are the real sweet ones, where you're not expecting anything to come and someone's referring you because of the good customer service that you did.
That's your number one source, guys. If you had to say and look back on my business over the hundreds of deals, the number one source for opportunity is word of mouth. People and you creating a good word, a good atmosphere for that person, and they're sharing your information with others. I mean, that's how I found about Kenneth. People was telling me how good this guy's stuff was, and then I saw his videos online, and then he kept on talking about my videos, so I knew I liked him right away. So he was already on my side. It's just a matter of now having lunch. And everything I saw in the videos and everything I heard from people talking about him was true. The guy knows his stuff.
Kenneth, what's your last name?
Bryant, B-R-Y-A-N-T. You can look me up on Facebook, Kenneth Williams Bryant. And you can also look up Catapult and Change. All social media platforms.
So let's go a little bit more into the marketing. What is the progression of how you get the deals, the best deals? Number one will always be somebody that referred you to somebody else. If you can get that type of relationship with someone, that's going to be your number one way to close deals. Number two is going to be by talking to the person face to face. That's why guerrilla marketing of door knocking, hanging door hangers, talking to people will never end. Because that's going to be your second most active way for you to get deals. Number three is going to be by way of direct mail, sending out your letters and so on. Number four is going to also be talking to the person on the telephone. When you're talking to the person, you're going to have an opportunity to let that person get to know and trust you, building rapport. Number five, you're talking about email and text message alerts. So think in terms of what are the ways in which I got the best opportunity and what ways are not as good as the top ways. And that's how you want to concentrate your dime, your marketing dollar, your expertise, your knowledge and everything based on those different things that's going to definitely bring you money. Somebody showed me earlier, Shonda, one of her, hold on, let me see yours. And this is great. This is a great strategy. Where you go door knocking and you drop one of these on people's doors. Door hanger. And on the back it says, earn $500 to $3,000 as a referral fee for house information. So she's covering both fronts, going around neighborhoods and putting these on the doors. So it doesn't have to, how much that cost you?
I think for 500 or 1,000, it was like $350 maybe.
You sure it wasn't 5,000? 25?
It may have been 2,500.
2,500. So 2,500 for $300. We're talking guerrilla marketing. But the key is getting out there, taking action. Any other questions about marketing stuff? Go right ahead.
How many people do Baltimore City? Okay. For those of you who are doing Baltimore City, a lot of free sources online for finding property. Okay. A lot of free sources.
You want to share a couple of
You
them?
got
Okay.
Here's my marketing first. This is our marketing. You got tax lists online.
Code enforcement.
Code enforcement. Okay. You got vacant house lists online. You got multiple lists online with thousands of properties that you can market to. Okay? No shortage of properties in Baltimore City, and people are just really killing it right now in Baltimore City.
One of the key.
I was gonna say Baltimore City is on the vacant house list, it's 16,000 properties.
And they update it every 2 weeks.
It's actually a total of 30,000 we're going to get released very soon.
And if you go straight to the source, judicial case search. Judicial case search is the website where all judicial hearings or all judicial filings are at. So on judicial case search, you got foreclosures, you got divorce, you got rent evictions, you got all these different judicial cases on judicial case search that you can pull all these different motivational situations. That's the key to our business. Motivational situation. Rent court. Somebody's filing for eviction at rent court. failure to pay rent notices, probate, going to the actual courthouse for probate. Another good one at rent court is when you're sitting in rent court and you're listening to the landlords getting cursed out from the actual judges because of issues in their property. I got a relief for you, Mr. Landlord. So sit in the courthouse. I'm telling you guys, there's so much opportunity of low-hanging fruit. When you're doing searches like on judicial case search, look for those landlords. We're looking for the motivation situation. We're looking for situations where the seller could be motivated. New landlord, get ready to file eviction, living out of state. Is that a motivated person? So you can look that information up at the actual failure to pay rent notices doing down the courthouse at 501 Fayette Street. So all these opportunities are out there for investors if you just know where to look. And like Valerie just said, all of this is free. None of those things I just told you cost you any money other than your time.
Is there a place to get this, like, for instance, you said judicial case search. Is there a place to get this information already aggregated for you?
Judicial case search is a website that's free. So it's online, you just look up judicial case search. Another great free resource is MD Land Rec. Now what I like about MD Land Rec is it has all the recording documents of every house in Maryland, supposedly. Now the information is put in by a regular person. So sometimes it's right, sometimes bureaucrats go to lunch. So it depends on the situation. But the key part of MD Land Records is the fact that you now have all the actual mortgage information on the houses. So you can pull up when they purchased the house, what their interest payment is on the house, what could be calculated based on what they may own on the house, since there isn't any new mortgages on the property. And another good part is, this is a great opportunity to find investors. Because on MD Land Records, you can search by the actual lender. So when you have a situation where the lender is an IRA, what do you got? Chances are it's a cash buyer, where the lender is a self-directed IRA company, like Equity Trust and so on. So that's a key thing, guys. There's so much free resources out there. It's just a matter of knowing which direction to go and actually monetizing your time so you're not spinning wheels. Now, Kenneth, you're going through this process. You got another 2, 3, 4 more weeks to go. What is your average time? I mean, this is a really a question that's really in general. What is you looking at for somebody that's working with a good contractor? Start to finish like this project. Average time to get in and out.
Average time, guys, I do full renovations. What I mean by that is I tear everything out and redo it from scratch. I get majority of those done in 60 days, no longer than 90 days. This property is gonna be faster because obviously it's not a full gut. As you can see, the electrical's already done. The door rocks going in the bathrooms. We got the LVL in. This week I'm gonna be doing touch-ups, priming the wall, painting the walls, and putting tile in the bathrooms. So, I mean, I'm looking at 3 weeks. I give a projected time of 60, I believe it's 64 days, but I always over-deliver. I say that with confidence, always. I do whatever it takes to make it happen, but on average, 60 to 90 days maximum.
Are you gonna do one of your before and after videos?
Absolutely. I do that a lot. I love marketing just like Charles does. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. I talk to a lot of people, and I think it's the lack of confidence at the end of the day. But if you are not doing marketing, if you don't have content, you will not grow and scale. Social media is a free platform. It's as simple as saying, hey, my name is Kenneth Bryan with Catapult and Change. Today I'm gonna show you this deal that I just got under contract. Well, guess what? People are watching this stuff. Because they're watching this stuff, my inbox is blown up every day just about. I'm telling you guys right now, there is no shortage of opportunity. It's a matter of believing, pushing yourself, action as Charles said, but the most important thing is execution. If you're not executing, you take action, but maybe you take action and you freeze. You gotta continue to execute and get it done, no matter what. It will be challenging. Get used to being uncomfortable if you're in this business, trust me.
You know what my favorite saying is? You gotta be comfortable being uncomfortable. That's the key.
Get used to it. Otherwise, you're gonna sit on the couch and watch TV for the rest of your life and be a vegetable or whatever it is you're gonna become. So just take action, get used to being comfortable, and just make it happen.
Exactly. So, very good point regarding marketing. I mean, First and foremost, own the badge of a marketer. Own it. I'm a marketer. I'm not a wholesaler. I'm not a rehabber. I'm not a buy and hold investor. I'm a marketer. If you know how to market, Kenneth will never go broke. Valerie will never go broke. Sandra and Bob will never go broke. I will never go broke, because I can be put in any city, and any one of these can be put in any city and state and market and get revenue. So learn marketing as a craft. That's the key. Own it. Own up to it. And you will not have to worry about how I'm going to eat if I don't know how to do wholesaling, rehabbing.
Just say one more thing, Troy, if you don't mind. That's another thing, guys. If you look at my sleeve right here, it says don't be scared. Life is great is on this side. Now, I encourage you to speak to yourself. I do. You think I'm crazy or not? But nobody needs to motivate or push me. I know my capabilities. I'm very confident, and I make it happen. Don't allow the fear to hold you back. So, again, making a video, you're afraid maybe of what people might think, or they might put you on the spot. But it actually holds you accountable. So all of these videos that I make, it allows me to stay accountable, because I'm on social media. Everybody's seeing everything. And that's how I've grown. So do not allow the fear to hold you back. I encourage you to do that, because guess what? When I get home in the night and I'm relaxing, I'm watching my video, and I'm learning something from it. And I become better. I'm not afraid of failure. I'm not afraid of doing something wrong, because failure is what makes you have success. I love this stuff, guys. So, yeah, once again, just stay motivated, push yourself, and take action.
Any more questions? Going once? Yes.
I got here a little late, but, so how long did the process take as far as the, doing the short sale? Well, once you had the contact, or not the contact, once you contacted the owner, how long did that process take before you actually closed?
About 7 to 8 months. I mean, we were doing this in 2017. I'm just not exactly sure when. October, November, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, so probably about 7 to 8 months.
Which brings up a very good point. Follow-up. I can't express how important it is to monitor every offer you put out there, to have a follow-up campaign set up to go after that person as often as your follow-up campaign dictates. Put it on, systemize it, automate it, so that you're always putting offers or revising the offers that you already put out there. The key to you as an investor, that deal is not gone until that seller has passed away, and then you still could get it. So keep that in mind. Because so always say, if the seller said no last month, and 4 weeks I'm gonna reach the seller again. 4 weeks after that, I'm gonna reach the seller again. 4 weeks after that, I'm gonna reach the seller again. I'm gonna keep on going until that deal is no longer able to be got.
Right. Just want to add on to that what Charles was just saying. Me and Sandra actually went to see a property yesterday. A gentleman's relocating to California, but he said he's still not ready yet. I don't think he's going to move until like August or September. He's now on speed dial, you know, so we will be following up with this gentleman probably every 14 days or so until he says no. And he didn't say no, but you know,
He's gonna say yes.
Yeah, he's going to say yes. So, we're on it, you know. So yeah, the key is in the follow up. They always say the money's in the follow up, and that is true.
Now, Valerie, regarding the short sale process, and the gentleman just mentioned in the back, if you're doing these short sales, some as many long, short as 2 weeks, some as long as like this one's taking place, how many of them are you guys averaging per month, short sales?
You mean how many are we currently working on? Because we have a team, I mean, we have about 35, 40 that we're working